Hey, Coach, what are the type of people that you're looking for to add to the staff?
Well, you always want creative coaches. You want creative coaches. You also want people who can relate to the people and adapt to the environment in that room because you got to have that connection. And obviously, when I played, it was different because when the coach said something, he said jump, you said how high. This generation, they're different. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. These are the same kids that I recruited as when I was a college coach. You had to develop those relationships. And so I've never stopped being a college coach in that way. You have to develop relationships with the people. And I think that is very, very important. And sometimes that kind of gets displaced with coaching. And so you got to have people that can connect with people in the room, but also that can coach them up. If you're developing the right relationship, you're developing the right chemistry, now you can get the best out of the person.
Hey, Terry, as you sat back and listened to Coach Bieniemy and all the positive things and all the things that he talked about today, what went through your mind and what stood out most?
Yeah, I think two things really. I think the importance of relationships. I think that was the number one thing that stood out to me, and I think a lot of people say it, but I've been in this league a long time. Well, not that long, but long enough to know you can feel when it's genuine. And I think he has that added perspective because he was a former player, like Coach Rivera and everything like that. So I think that adds to their relatability. That adds to they know what it's like to be in our shoes, and how important they know that a coach has their back outside of just the X's and O's, outside of wins and losses, that there's a true relationship there. I think that's how you get the most out of your players when there's a relationship. And also I think just the strain aspect that he spoke about, the attention to detail is extremely important to help win games, because I feel like a lot of the games we were in last year were just a difference between 1 or 2 plays here, a negative play there, maybe a little bit stronger finish, and so I'm excited to get to work.
They did a really good job in Kansas City of knowing how to use their guys. So I'm excited for that because, like everyone knows, we have weapons here, and so I'm super excited for him to come in here and just try to use the guys the best we can. It's just my job to try to get the ball to them.
Hey, Sam, when you heard Coach Bieniemy talk today, what went through your mind with all the things that he was saying about what he's bringing, what he wants to hope to bring to this organization?
Yeah, I was excited. Just hearing him today, he's exactly the man I thought he would be. And he brings a lot of confidence and a lot of energy. You can just tell from just sitting here and listening to his press conference. So you can just tell he's an awesome leader of men, and I'm super excited to have the opportunity to work with him.
Hey, Ricky, what makes him a winner?
His attitude, the way he talks and the way he walks when he talks, showing his work on the field. By getting to know the players, like he said, that's a top job that you need to be able to have, is knowing each player. And when you understand each player, know what they're capable of doing, then you know how to use them, and then that brings success.
I'm a player. I'm on the field for the first time with Coach Bieniemy. What am I going to expect? What kind of energy I'm going to get from him? What is it like for him coaching you?
Yeah, I don't know how he coaches. I've never been there around him, but just know his personality is that you got to have thick skin. First of all, you can't be in the NFL playing and not having thick skin, because
but
you have to
better
understand.
Have a thick skin with him, right?
Yeah, and a strong mentality, a mindset going like, okay, he don't mean nothing by it. Let me listen to what he's saying, not how he's saying it. And those are things you got to worry about.
Personality-wise, what is he like?
Oh, the greatest, man. You saw that smile. Hey, that's the smile you want to see, man. When the guy's having fun and enjoying what he does, and that smile shows up, man, it's like, man, how can you not? This dude needs to be hired as a head coach. You know what I'm saying? Because he brings the energy, he brings the positivity, he brings everything that a head coach will bring, that you need to bring these guys up. But I think that's, we're going to see a different offense, of course. It's going to be his own style, but I think we're going to see a lot of different things. It's going to be, you're going to need patience.
Because when I came in, I was one of those knucklehead, hard-headed guys that had a great deal of success at college, but really couldn't figure out my role. And I'll never forget this, and you guys probably appreciate this, because Dan Henney was the head coach at that time. Dan Henney did me a favor. He called me out in front of everybody. He called me out because of my lack of effort on tape that I had put on tape, playing on kickoff coverage. And he told me, if you're the last one down, we're going to cut you. Back in those days, first and second rounders got cut. And so I'll never forget talking to my agent at that particular time and asking him, you got to get me out of here. And it's kind of ironic how things happen and events happen in your life that you really don't know how they're going to impact moving forward. There was a gentleman that worked in that building. He came up and he overheard the conversation. He said, EB, you're going about this the wrong way. He said, seek not to become a person of success, but a person of value. The more valuable you are, the more likely you are to obtain success. Now, so you got to understand, I'm a 21-year-old. It didn't ring a bell at that particular time. And then later on that evening, I'm just sitting down, and I just had an epiphany. I was like, wow, okay, I get it. It's not about necessarily being your draft status. It's about what are you going to do to help yourself to become a professional football player. So I share that story with a lot of rookies because all of these guys anticipating coming in and wanting to be a starter. Everybody can't start, all right? But what value are you going to bring to this organization? What value are you going to present to help us to be the best team that we can be? And your window, all right, is special teams. So you can become a 4-phase special teams player. That's where your value can grow. And then when those opportunities present themselves in those individual rooms that you're working in, whether it's the receiver room, the tight end room, or the running back room, now you'll have that opportunity to grow as a player. It's a West Coast system. Obviously, when it's all said and done, what football is football. You want to put all your guys in the best situations in which they can win, okay? And then you want to put them in a situation where they can be successful. But we got to learn to put it together so we can have the success that we need to have. And it's all about playing complementary football and doing whatever it takes to win. That's one thing that we're going to do.
Hey, Coach, as people get to know you here in Washington, what is it that you want them to know most about you?
I'm a hard-working individual. I was raised old school. If you don't work, you don't eat. So that's the values that I bring, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to work. And you can tell I had to eat. I've eaten a little bit, so I understand how to work.
Coach,